The funeral was over, but the house still echoed with the ghosts of condolences and half-hearted hugs. I stood in the kitchen, staring at the uneaten casseroles piled on the counter, my father's death certificate clutched in my hand like a ticket to a life I didn't want. That's when Brooke, my stepmom of 5 years, lingered after everyone else had trickled out, her eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my stomach twist. And then she leaned in, her lips brushing mine in a kiss that shattered every boundary I'd ever known. My heart pounded as if it might burst through my chest. What the hell was that? I pulled back, my mind racing through a whirlwind of confusion and something darker, something I'd buried deep inside for years. Brooke's face flushed, her usual composed demeanor cracking like thin ice under pressure. Brielle, I couldn't hold it in anymore, she whispered, her voice trembling. Your father is gone, and I've been fighting this for so long. Fighting what? The words echoed in my head, but I couldn't voice them. Instead, I turned away, pretending to busy myself with clearing the dishes, while inside a storm raged. Was this grief talking, or had I always known there was something unspoken between us? Growing up in suburban Chicago, life had been a carefully constructed facade. My dad, a stern accountant who believed in God, family, and the American dream in that order, had married Brooke after my mom left us when I was 12. Brooke was everything my mom wasn't. Poised, ambitious, a successful marketing executive who turned heads at every PTA meeting. She was 33 when they wed, and I was 17, just starting to question why boys never stirred anything in me beyond polite indifference. But Brooke? From the first day she moved in, her presence filled the house like a forbidden perfume, making me hyper-aware of every glance, every accidental touch. I remember the first time I felt it, that pull. It was during a family vacation to the Grand Canyon 2 years ago. Dad was snoring in the hotel room, and Brooke and I sat on the balcony, sharing a bottle of wine she'd smuggled past him. You're so much like your mother, she said, her fingers grazing mine as she passed the glass. I laughed it off, but inside my thoughts betrayed me. Why does her touch feel like electricity? Why do I replay her smiles in my head at night? I pushed it down, convinced it was just teenage confusion, a phase I'd outgrow. But phases don't linger like this, don't make your pulse quicken when she walks into a room. Now with Dad gone, taken by a sudden heart attack at 55, the facade was crumbling. Brooke had been his rock, or so everyone thought. At the funeral, relatives whispered about how devoted she was, nursing him through his last months of illness. But as I stood there in the kitchen, her kiss still burning on my lips, I wondered if it had all been an act. We can't do this, I muttered, my voice barely above a whisper. It's wrong. You're my stepmom. The words tasted like ash, but they were the truth society demanded. Yet, even as I said them, a part of me rebelled. What if wrong feels right? What if this is the only real thing in my fake perfect life? Brooke stepped closer, her eyes pleading. Brielle, listen to me. Your father and I. It was never passionate. It was safe, convenient. But you see me. You've always seen me. Her words hit like a punch. Seen her? I'd idolized her, envied her freedom, her confidence. But attraction? That was a line I hadn't admitted crossing, not even to myself. In college, I dated a guy named Mark for 6 months, trying to fit the mold, but it felt like performing in a play I hated. After we broke up, I confided in my best friend, admitting I thought I might be gay. She shrugged it off. Everyone experiments. But this wasn't an experiment. This was Brooke, the woman who'd helped me with homework, attended my soccer games, and now apparently harbored feelings that mirrored my own buried ones. The internal conflict clawed at me. How could I betray Dad like this, even in death? He was a man of principles, raised in a conservative family where being gay was a sin whispered about in church basements. He knew. God, if anyone knew. My aunt, his sister, was already eyeing Brooke suspiciously, hinting that the will might not favor her. Society's judgment loomed like a shadow. Stepmom and stepdaughter? That's not love, that's scandal. I paced the kitchen, my mind a battlefield. Part of me wanted to run, to pack my bags and flee back to my dorm at Northwestern. But another part, the honest one, whispered, what if this is your chance at truth? That night I couldn't sleep. Lying in my childhood bed, I replayed the kiss over and over. It wasn't aggressive, just soft, tentative, like a question she'd been too afraid to ask. Brooke had retreated to the guest room, Dad's room felt too haunted now, and I heard her pacing too. What was she thinking? Regret? Relief? I imagined her inner turmoil. Marrying my dad for stability after her own messy divorce, suppressing her true self to fit into his world. She'd mentioned once, in a rare vulnerable moment, how her parents disowned her brother for coming out. Was that why she'd hidden? The questions piled up, each one a weight on my chest. By morning the tension was palpable. Over coffee, Brooke avoided my eyes at first, then finally spoke. We need to talk about last night. I nodded, my throat tight. Yeah, we do. But talking meant facing the abyss, the family expectations, the societal scorn, the moral quandary of loving someone forbidden. As we sat there, the air thick with unspoken words, I realized this was just the beginning. The kiss wasn't an end. It was the spark that could burn everything down. The days blurred into a haze of grief and secrecy. We sorted through Dad's things, our hands brushing occasionally, sending jolts through me. Each time I'd pull away, berating myself. This is wrong. She's family. But family? She wasn't blood. She was choice, Dad's choice, now perhaps mine. The internal debate raged. Loyalty to a dead man versus living authentically. Friends called to check in, but I couldn't confide. How's Brooke holding up? They'd ask. Fine. I'd lie while inside I screamed. She's everything, and that's the problem. One evening, as rain pelted the windows, Brooke broke the silence. I loved your father in my way. But it was never like this. Like what? I wanted to scream. Like the way my heart races when you're near? The confession hung between us, a bridge or a trap. I chose to cross it. Tell me everything, I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. And she did, pouring out years of suppressed desires, of realizing in her 20s that women stirred her soul, but choosing safety over truth. Listening, I felt a mirror crack open. Her story was mine, unspoken. As the conversation deepened, the moral lines blurred. Was it betrayal if Dad was gone? Or was it freedom? Society would say no, family would disown us. But in that moment, alone in the house that once held our secrets separately, I felt the first crack in my resolve. What price would we pay for this? The question haunted me, but so did the alternative. A life of denial. Brooke's revelations that night opened a floodgate I couldn't close. She spoke of her college days, stolen kisses with a roommate that ended in heartbreak when fear won out. I married my ex-husband to prove I was normal, she admitted, her eyes distant. Then your dad, for the same reason. Hearing it, my own denial surfaced. The crushes on female teachers, the way I'd stare at girls in the locker room, telling myself it was admiration. But now with Brooke it was undeniable. What about us? I asked, my voice cracking. This can't happen. Yet even as I said it, I leaned closer, drawn by an invisible force. The next weeks were a tightrope walk. We lived under the same roof, pretending normalcy during the day, handling estate papers, meeting with lawyers, while nights brought whispered conversations that chipped away at my defenses. Society will crucify us, I thought, imagining the headlines. Widow seduces stepdaughter. But was it seduction? Or mutual awakening? Brooke never pushed. She waited, her patience a torment. Inside I battled. Dad's voice in my head, preaching family values, clashing with my growing certainty that love didn't fit neat boxes. One afternoon my Aunt Evelyn dropped by unannounced. How are you two managing? She probed, her eyes sharp. Brooke played the grieving widow perfectly, but I saw the strain. Later alone she confessed. Evelyn suspects something. She's always hated me. Paranoia set in. What if she found out? Dad's family was old-school Catholic. Being gay was unforgivable, let alone this. The thought of losing inheritance, friends, everything weighed heavy. Is it worth it? I asked myself in the mirror, seeing a stranger staring back, someone brave or foolish. Despite the risks, moments of connection slipped through. Cooking dinner together, our laughter filled the kitchen for the first time since the funeral. You have his smile, Brooke said softly, touching my cheek. The gesture lingered, igniting sparks. I pulled away, but not before feeling the warmth spread. This is dangerous, my mind warned. Yet the alternative, pushing her away, returning to a hollow life, felt worse. College friends texted about parties, blind dates with guys, but I ignored them. How could I explain? Hey, I'm falling for my stepmom. The internal conflict peaked during a family gathering at Evelyn's. Relatives hugged me, offered sympathies, but their eyes on Brooke were cold. She's too young for him anyway. I overheard a cousin whisper. Defensiveness surged. They didn't know her, the woman who'd sacrificed her truth for acceptance. On the drive home, silence thickened. They'll never understand, Brooke said finally. Neither will anyone. Her words echoed my fears. Isolation, judgment, the moral dilemma of choosing love over duty. That night, unable to sleep, I crept to her room. I can't stop thinking about you, I confessed, standing in the doorway. She sat up, the moonlight highlighting her vulnerability. Neither can I. We talked until dawn, sharing dreams we'd hidden. Hers, a life without pretense. Mine, acceptance not just from others but myself. But dawn brought reality. This wasn't a fairy tale, it was a minefield. As days passed, the tension built. Small touches became intentional. A hand on the small of my back, eyes meeting across the room. Each one a decision, a step toward the abyss. What about betrayal? My conscience screamed. Dad trusted her. He raised me to be moral. But morality felt subjective now. Was it wrong to love? Or wrong to deny it? Society said yes to the first, no to the second. Family pressure mounted. Evelyn called daily, hinting at contesting the will if Brooke misbehaved. One evening it escalated. Over wine, Brooke kissed me again, deeper this time. I responded, the world fading. But pulling back, guilt crashed in. We have to stop, I gasped. Or what? Live lies, she countered, tears in her eyes. The argument flared. Her accusing me of cowardice, me throwing back her years of hiding. You married him knowing. I shouted. For security, she yelled. The words hung raw and true. We were both damaged, seeking solace in each other, but at what cost? Reconciliation came slowly. Apologies whispered, hands entwined. But the seed of doubt grew. Could we survive the fallout? Friends noticed my withdrawal. One, Sarah, confronted me. What's going on, Brielle? You seem different. I brushed it off, but inside, isolation gnawed. Brooke faced her own battles, colleagues gossiping about her quick recovery, unaware of the turmoil. The turning point came during a storm. Power out, we huddled by candlelight. If we do this, I said, we lose everything. Or gain ourselves, she replied. Her optimism clashed with my realism, but in that moment I chose her. We shared stories of past heartbreaks, hers with women she'd loved in secret, mine with the void of unacknowledged feelings. The bond strengthened, but so did the risks. By month's end, whispers turned to confrontations. Evelyn showed up with documents, accusing Brooke of undue influence. You're not family, she spat. Defending her, I felt the first taste of rebellion. But later, alone, doubt returned. Was this love or escape? The moral quagmire deepened. Duty to family versus personal truth. As we navigated, the high stakes became clear. One wrong move and it all collapses. The confrontation with Evelyn ignited a fire we couldn't extinguish. I know something's off, she hissed before leaving, her eyes boring into us. Brooke slammed the door, her composure shattered. She's going to ruin us. Panic set in. What if she dug deeper? Dad's will left the house to both of us, but Evelyn could challenge it, claiming emotional manipulation. Inside I wrestled, stand by Brooke and risk alienation or back down and betray myself. The next day I drove to campus, seeking normalcy, but thoughts of her consumed me. In class, discussions on ethics mocked my situation. Is love ever immoral? Professors droned on about societal norms, but none addressed the taboo of us. Calling Brooke, her voice soothed. We'll face it together. But together meant secrets, lies to cover tracks. Friends invited me out. I declined, isolation deepening. You're ghosting us, Sarah texted. How to explain the woman I loved was forbidden. Tension mounted at home. Arguments erupted over trivialities, masking deeper fears. We should tell someone, Brooke suggested once. Who? They'll call it sick. My words stung, but truth hurt more. She retreated, hurt evident. Guilt twisted. I was damaging her just as society damaged us. Inner monologue raged. Why fight for this? Because denial is death. But the price, family bonds severed, reputations tarnished, loomed large. A betrayal came unexpectedly. My cousin, influenced by Evelyn, called. Aunt Ev says Brooke's using you. Is it true? Denial flew out, but seeds of doubt planted. Confronting Brooke. Are you? Her face crumpled. How can you ask that? Tears flowed. We argued fiercely, accusations flying. You've hidden your whole life. I yelled. And you? Still in the closet. She shot back. The fight exposed raw wounds. Her past compromises, my youthful indecision. Reconciliation was tentative, sealed with apologies and embraces that stopped short of more. But the damage lingered, trust frayed. Society's pressure amplified. News stories of outed celebrities losing everything fueled paranoia. What if we're next? I thought, imagining tabloids, disownment. Moral dilemmas intensified. Oh, loyalty to Dad's memory, or to living authentically? Choices felt like traps. High drama unfolded at a lawyer's meeting. Evelyn attended, pushing for a review. Brooke's influence is questionable, she claimed. Defending her, I snapped. You don't know anything. Her eyes widened, suspicion grew. After Brooke broke down. This is the cost. Holding her, I felt resolve harden, we'd fight. But inside, fear whispered. At what expense? As weeks passed, our relationship deepened amid chaos. Stolen moments, walks in the park, hands linked briefly, offered respite. I love you, she said one day, the words electric. I echoed them, heart soaring but grounded by reality. Friends since change, Sarah cornered me. Spill it. Partial truth. I'm seeing someone. Her excitement turned probing. Who? Lies compounded. Isolation complete. The climax built during a family dinner Evelyn hosted, ostensibly for healing. Tensions simmered. Whispers about Brooke's independence veiled accusations. When Evelyn toasted Dad, adding, he'd want us united properly, I exploded. What does that mean? Confrontation erupted. Evelyn accused Brooke of opportunism, me of naivety. She's twisting you. Defending us, I revealed fragments. Brooke's family too. But hints slipped, eyes narrowing. Storming out, Brooke in tow, the drive home was silent fury. It's over, she said. They'll never accept. Despair hit. Had we lost before starting? Inner conflict peaked. Sacrifice love for peace, or embrace chaos? That night we faced it head-on. We run, Brooke proposed. Start fresh. Tempting, but running meant cowardice. Or fight, I countered. Debate raged, decisions hanging. Betrayal struck again. Evelyn's private investigator. Photos arrived anonymously. Us together, innocuous but damning in context. Explain this, her note demanded. Panic ensued, trust shattered. Who else knows? Brooke fretted. Accusations flew. Did I tell someone? Paranoia poisoned us. Argument escalated to screams, doors slamming. This was a mistake. I hurled, regretting instantly. In the aftermath, solitude brought clarity. Pacing, I dissected love versus destruction. Brooke's pain mirrored mine, years of suppression boiling over. Reconciling, we vowed unity. But the investigator's shadow loomed, forcing a choice, confront or hide.
Opting confrontation, we met Evelien.
It's none of your business, I stated. Her shock. You're together? Denial futile, truth out. Outrage followed. Disgusting. He'd be ashamed. Words cut deep, moral judgment raining down. Think of the family, she pleaded. But family? They'd never seen us. Leaving, we felt liberated yet burdened. Society's verdict awaited, friends, work, world. Damage assessed. Bonds broken but authenticity gained? The fallout immediate. Calls ceased, invitations withdrawn. Isolation intensified, but in it we found strength. Was it worth it? I asked Brooke. For you, yes. Her answer fueled resolve, but doubts persisted. Right choice or selfish? The revelation to Evelyn rippled like a stone in a pond, waves crashing over our lives. Disinvitations to family events arrived via terse emails. Whispers turned to outright shunning. You're dead to us, one uncle texted. The pain was visceral, losing Dad again through his kin. Inside, I questioned. Was love worth this exile? Brooke bore it stoically, but cracks showed. Late nights staring at photos of happier times, tears unspoken. Work became a battleground. Brooke's colleagues, hearing rumors via mutual connections, sidelined her. Focus on projects. her boss advised, but undertones screamed judgment. She confided. They're phasing me out. Financial strain loomed. Dad's savings dwindled under legal fees from Evelyn's will challenge. We might lose the house, she said, voice breaking. The cost tallied. Security for truth. My college life fractured too. Sarah, piecing it together, confronted. Your stepmom? Brielle, that's messed up. Her disgust mirrored society's. Friends distanced. Group chats silenced. Isolation deepened, inner voice mocking. You chose this. Nights brought nightmares. Dad's disappointed face, society's pointing fingers. Moral quandary haunted. Betrayed his trust or honored my soul? Brooke and I clung together, but strain showed. Arguments over money, future. We could move, she suggested. Run from what? Ourselves. I snapped. Hurt flashed. Apologies followed. Damage accumulated. Trust eroded by external pressures. One evening, she admitted. I regret not fighting sooner. Her words stung. Regret us? Clarification. No, regret hiding. Relief mixed with sorrow. A deeper wound opened when old friends reached out to help. One from church offered counseling for our confusion. Condescension fueled rage. Who were they to judge? But doubt crept. Maybe they're right. Taboo relationships doomed? Society said yes, heart no. The push-pull exhausted, decisions weighed heavy. Legal battles intensified. Court dates loomed. Evelyn painted Brooke as predator, me as victim. She's manipulated you, her lawyer argued. Testifying, I refuted. It's mutual. Gasps echoed, judge's eyes narrowed. Humiliation burned, but standing firm felt like victory. Yet, post-hearing breakdowns came. Why us? Brooke sobbed. Holding her, I whispered assurances, but inside uncertainty raged. Financial ruin neared. Brooke job hunted fruitlessly, stigma clinging. Lesbian widow steals stepdaughter. Gossip twisted facts. We sold possessions, downsized dreams. The price? Comfort for conviction. Friends vanished entirely. Sarah's final text. I can't support this. Loneliness amplified internal conflicts. Worth the pain? In quiet moments we reflected. Brooke shared stories of suppressed youth. Crushes ignored, marriages as shields. I paid then, paying now. Her resilience inspired, but my youth rebelled. Why suffer? Temptation to end it surfaced. Maybe separate. Her eyes widened. After all this? Debate ensued, emotions raw. Staying meant more hurt. Leaving self-betrayal. The ultimate damage hit when media caught wind. A local blog post. Scandal in suburbs. Forbidden love after death. Anonymity stripped. Stares followed in stores. Paranoia peaked. Tracked? Judged? Brooke withdrew, depression setting in. I broke us, she murmured. Reassuring her, I hid my own despair. Moral lines blurred further. Society's fault or ours? Seeking solace, we attended a support group anonymously. Stories mirrored ours, rejection but also hope. One woman shared. Love wins eventually. Inspiration flickered, but reality doused it. Returning home, another blow. Eviction notice, will contest it successfully. House gone, stability shattered. Packing, memories flooded. Dad's laughter, Brooke's arrival. We lost everything, I thought. But in loss, clarity. Possessions meaningless. Connection everything. Yet doubt persisted. Right path? As we loaded the car, Evelyn appeared. Stop this madness. Final confrontation. It's our life. Her tears. He'd hate this. Walking away, heart heavy. New apartment, new city. Escape, but scars remained. Brooke's job loss led to menial work. My studies suffered. Damage tallied. Relationships severed, futures altered. Inner awakening began, but slowly. Was the choice wrong? I pondered nightly. Settling into the cramped apartment in a quieter part of Illinois. The weight of our decisions pressed down like an unyielding fog. Brooke took a job at a coffee shop. Her executive poise reduced to serving lattes, while I juggled online classes and part-time shifts to make ends meet. The glamour of forbidden love faded into the grind of survival, each bill a reminder of the sacrifices we'd made. Inside, I grappled with the aftermath. Had we chosen wisely or impulsively? Brooke's smiles were rarer now, shadowed by the ghosts of what we'd lost. Nights brought introspection. Lying awake, I dissected the path. The kiss that started it all, the confrontations, the exile. Society forced this, I told myself, but self-doubt countered. Or did we? Moral ambiguity lingered. Was our love a rebellion against norms? Or a selfish indulgence? Friends' absences stung. Family's silence deafened. Yet, in quiet moments with Brooke, authenticity shone. Conversations deep, touches meaningful, unmarred by pretense. Healing came sporadically. Therapy sessions funded by scraps, unpacked layers. Brooke's internalized homophobia from her upbringing. My fear of abandonment post-mom. You're not broken, the counselor said. Words soothed, but scars remained. One session, Brooke admitted, I damaged you. Tears flowed. Forgiveness followed. We damaged each other, and grew. The process was painful, revelations raw. Society's backlash continued subtly. Odd looks from neighbors, job rejections for Brooke. Experience gap, they claimed, but undertones screamed prejudice. Frustration built. Why pay eternally? Inner resolve hardened. We'd prove them wrong. Small victories, a supportive coworker for Brooke, a passing grade for me, built momentum. But doubts resurfaced. Worth the eternal fight? A turning point arrived via an unexpected letter from Sarah. I miss you. Let's talk. Reunion tentative over coffee. I was scared, she confessed. But seeing you happy. Partial acceptance, a crack in isolation. Sharing our story lightly brought relief. Society's changing, she said. Hope flickered, maybe. Family remained distant. Evelyn's wall unbreached. A holiday card arrived unsigned, gesture or taunt. Brooke shrugged. Let them go. Her strength inspired. My admiration deepened. Love evolved from passion to partnership, forged in fire. Yet the cost haunted. Dad's memory tainted, futures rerouted. As months passed, awakening fully bloomed. I came out publicly via a blog post. Anonymous at first, detailing struggles without specifics. Responses poured. Support from strangers echoing our pain. You're not alone. Empowerment surged. Brooke joined, her voice amplifying. Activism stirred. Attending prides, volunteering. Purpose replaced loss. But reflection brought balance. Choices had consequences. Did we hurt more than help? I pondered. Brooke's answer. We lived truthfully. Nodding, I agreed, but nuance lingered. Society's evolution slow. Our story a microcosm. In the end, as we sat on our tiny balcony watching the sunset, peace settled. We traded security for self, conformity for courage. The journey, filled with betrayal, damage, awakening, shaped us. But the ultimate question remained, sparking endless debate. Was pursuing a love society deems immoral ever truly right? Or does the heart's truth outweigh all ethical bounds? The awakening wasn't instantaneous. It unfolded like a slow dawn after a long night. In the apartment's confines, we rebuilt routines. Mornings with shared coffee, evenings dissecting days. Brooke's resilience shone. She enrolled in online courses, eyeing a career pivot. Can't let them win, she'd say, determination fierce. My admiration grew, but so did understanding of her sacrifices. Leaving a stable life for uncertainty, all for us. Internal monologues persisted. Nights replaying Evelyn's accusations, questioning if we'd invited the chaos. Moral high ground? I mused. Society preached family first, but what if family suffocates? Brooke's past echoed. Suppressed for decades, now free but scarred. I'd do it again, she affirmed. Her conviction bolstered mine, but doubts whispered. At whose expense? Community found us unexpectedly. A local LGBTQ group welcomed. Stories shared mirrored ours, taboo loves, familial rifts. One couple, together despite odds, inspired. Time heals judgments. Bonds formed, isolation easing. Yet, pain revisited. A call from a distant relative, pleading return to normal. Rejection hurt but affirmed our path. Professional hurdles continued. Brooke's interviews faltered. Stigma clung. Frustration peaked. Why punish us? Rallying, we networked through allies. Landing her a role at a progressive firm. Victory sweet but hard won. My studies refocused. Graduation loomed, future brighter. Personal growth deepened. Journaling unpacked emotions. Anger at society's rigidity. Sorrow for lost ties. Joy in authenticity. Brooke's evolution paralleled. shedding self-doubt, embracing identity. You saved me, she said. Mutual salvation, perhaps. The story's arc closed with reflection. From shock to shattering, betrayal to bonding, we'd navigated hell for heaven. But the query lingers. In a world of rigid rights and wrongs, does forbidden love justify the wreckage it causes?